Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and a puzzle I'll be doing today is called Undeca Error by Chile. I'm really looking forward to this. It's fascinating. It's just 11s in the grid. We will be looking at that in a moment. Don't forget that coming up in just a few days' time, 1st of February, we'll be releasing a new Patreon reward, which is a hunt created by Glum Hippo, aka Philip Bloomer. It's a hunt based on XY differences. It's called the Fossil Hunt, I think. And Philip's offering a prize, which is this plush hippo, 9 centimeters long. Philip is going to post it off to the winner of the hunt, which will be announced in late February, I guess. So we're really looking forward to that. Thank you, Philip, for everything involved in that. And we will be, as I say, bringing that to you on the 1st. Now, before then, we have already released some solution videos, both the final ones to the Cryptic Scriptures of the Secret Snake Society, December's hunt, which they went up today finally. And also on Monday we released Jay Dyer's first 5 solution videos, which would have got you to the intermediate stage of Jay's hunt, which was the January reward. And on Friday, I'll be releasing a special long cryptic crossword video based on me solving a puzzle that Simon set 18 years ago. It's quite interesting, and you won't need to watch the full 2.5 hours. You can jump to the last 15 or 20 minutes for the really impressive bit if you want. So, anyway, that's all on Patreon. Do join us there if you can. You need to be a $3 a month Patreon to see those solution videos, but it's normally the $2 a month Patreons get to see everything else, including the hunts, so check it out. Also, of course, there's our merchandise and our apps, which are all linked under the videos. And as a bonus today, if you stick around after the puzzle, I'll be chatting phonetics and maybe even apologising to Philip Neumann and the whole US of A. Well, we'll see where that goes, but that's what I'm planning to do. Let's hope I don't forget at the end of this and just say bye for now and switch off. Anyway, that's all assuming I get through this puzzle at all. And Chile has proved very difficult for me in the past. Yeah, in a group of constructors who I rather fear, especially, I think, in Chile's case, for innocent-looking puzzles that really have stings in. So we'll see how it goes. The rules are these for this puzzle. It's the first link under the video. Do have a go. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That's putting 1 to 9 in every row, column, and 3x3 box once each. Identical digits cannot be a knight's move apart in chess. So whatever digit is it, say that was a 2. These others that I'm highlighting cannot be a 2 by that rule. And the other rule about the knight's move rule is that I will probably forget it at a crucial point. In a cage, digits can't repeat. They sum to the total given, so those 3 add up to 11. In fact, every cage in this puzzle adds up to 11. That is clearly the rule. I mean, effectively, that's what Undeca means, although... Yeah, I mean, as a prefix, I think I would have said Hendeca, but I guess it's a separate word here. So Undeca is 1 and 10 in Greek. I rather liked it when there were 6 or 7 elements on the periodic table called things like ununpentium and ununhexium, because they hadn't bothered to name them. They were effectively 115ium. But I think they have bothered to name them now. That's stuff like flerovium and moscovium. Is it Moscovium that's ununpentium? I think so. Don't know why I think that, but there we go. Anyway, that's me already yakking about chemistry, about which I know nothing, as you can probably tell. I didn't know whether to call those elements theoretical elements, or have they actually been synthesized? Some of them, I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue. Anyway, we're not looking at that and why the puzzle is called Undeca Error. I don't know what the error is. I hope it doesn't mean an error that everybody makes, because I will fall into that trap if that's possible. But I'm going to start finally now, so let's restart the clock and let's get cracking. Okay, we've got loads and loads of 11 cages. especially clustered around box 4. Could add them up, but I don't think that necessarily helps. Now, every 3-cell 11 cage, and let's note that's a 2-cell one, the rest are 3s, I think. Every 3-cell 11 cage has to have a 1 or a 2 in it. I know that. So, does that mean there has to be a repeat digit in these 3 cages? I mean, I'm sure, well, there obviously has to be at least one repeat digit, because otherwise those 9 digits would add up to 33. And I don't believe the 9 digits that go into a Sudoku add up to 33, because I have been told the secret, which I'm prepared to share with you, that they always add up to 45. So that's the sum of every row, column and box. It would also be the sum of any 9-digit area that contained all 9 digits. And we are told that those add up to 33. So, okay, by a bit of absolutely basic set theory, if we colour those that add up to 33 purple, and these that add up to 45 by the secret rule green, and then eliminate the common cells, these must have a total of 12 more than these two. That there are 2 degrees of freedom on that. The maximum for those is 17, the minimum for these is 3. The difference between those totals is 14. So that doesn't help. But now I'm thinking about where does 9 go in this row, and it doesn't go in an 11 cage. So 9's in one of those cells. 9 can't go in a 3-cell 11 cage, because it would have to go in with 2 1s, and that would break the rules. Oh, of course, 9 in this box can be placed immediately. It's in the corner because of what I just said. 9 can't be in a 3-cell 11 cage. Now maybe we can do maths on this box. So these 4 11 cages add up to 44, plus 9 is 53. Now, by the secret which I just explained, we know that the box which contains 1 to 9 adds up to 45. So if we deduct that from 53, we are left with 8 in these highlighted cells. Now, the least that these 3 can add up to is 6, 1, 2 and 3, and therefore this is 1 or 2 as a result, and these include 1 and 2 and either 3 or 4. And now this cage can't have an 8 in. It does have a 1 or 2 in, because every 3-cell 11 cage does. But it doesn't have, well, it doesn't have both of them. That's why it doesn't have an 8 in. Wow, okay, these 3 cells are not 1 or 2, because there's 1, 1 or 2 there, and there's 1 in this cage. So they're all bigger. How do I use that? It's interesting. I feel there must be at least 1, 1 or 2 here, and maybe both. But I don't know quite how to fully establish that. There's a 9. Oh, hang on. Let's look at 9s again. 9 can't be in a 3-cell cage. So there's a 9 up there somewhere. Oh, and the knight's move tells me where it is. I'd forgotten that already, because I'm a genius. 9 there. Oh, I was going to... Yeah, no, actually 9 can't go in this 11 cage. It could have done by virtue of its being a 2-cell cage, but we've said 2 is in one of those cells, so it can't be in here with the 9. So we can place 9 in column 2. That might be it for placing 9s for now, even remembering the knight's move. Well, it can't be in any of those cells. Hang on a sec. So 9 is in one of those 3, and they all see this cell. Oh, this is interesting. They all see this cell. So whichever one of those is a 9, this can't be a 9, or it would see these on... on the horizontal, or that by knights move. So if that's not a 9, obviously because of that 9, that's not a 9. The 9 in box 3 is in one of those 4 cells, and we seem to be expanding in terms of the number of cells that can be 9 in each box, but they all see this cell, which can no longer be 9. If you put a 9 there, there'd be nowhere for 9 in box 3. Because if you put one there, there'd be nowhere for 9 in box 2. I mean, it's a little bit complicated. This is the sort of thing knights moves can do. So we get a 9 there. That rules 9 out of those 2. And then those 2 both see that cell. So that can't have a 9 in. And we nearly got the 9s done. 9 could be there or one of those 3. Okay, I'm going to mark them. They do all... Actually, yes. They all see that cell. So there's no 9 there. So now there's a 9 in one of those 2. Can't be there because of the knight's move. But one of those 2 means it's not there. Oh, we nearly got them done. I think I'm out of options on 9s now. But that was quite a lot of 9-age, unexpectedly. Now, I'm going to think about 8s next. 8s can appear in these 11 cages, but they have to take both 1 and 2 if they do. Oh, look, yes, look, 1 and 2 can't appear here. So these cells have to be at a minimum 3 and 4. They can't actually be 3 and 4, or that would need another 4 in the cage. So 3 and 5 is the next lowest. They can't be that because that would need another 3 in the cage. So they must add up to at least 9, which is also... No, it's not the most they can add up to. They add up to 9 or 10, and that is a 1 or 2. That's weird. Do I know... Can I start colouring 1s and 2s? I don't think I can tell whether they're the same 1 and 2. It would be really useful if I could. Actually, I can tell if they're the same 1 and 2. If those digits were the same flavour of 1 or 2, where would that flavour go in box 4? It couldn't go here because of the knight's move, and it couldn't go here because of the being in the same cage. So actually these are different. So let's make that one red and this one yellow. And I don't know, maybe I can't... Yeah, hang on. Red in this box. Red in this box can't go in those cells because they're all seen by that red one. Obviously that's not a 1 or a 2, it's a 9. This is in the same cage as red already, so that's not red. So one of these 2 is red. That's quite interesting because... Not only because it puts red in one of those 3, which is less interesting, but because I think one of these cages now has to have a 1 and a 2 in it. If that is red... Yeah, there's both a 1 and a 2 in this row. So either... Yeah, so this cage... this cage has to have... Oh, red is in this group of cells, of course, that's it. Red is in this group of cells. 1 and 2 are both in it. Where is red here? If red's there, red can't be there or there. If red's there, red can't be there or there. So whichever one of those is red, red is not in those 2 cells, it's in that one. Oh, this is a weird puzzle. And this is not how I was expecting to be solving it at all. But that is 1 or 2. Now, can we do anything with yellow? No, actually there's more. There is more because one of these is yellow. If yellow is there, that's a 1-2 pair and that's an 8. Oh no, red is there. Red is not in this cage, of course. Sorry. Red is obviously there. Yes, and that's great with yellow. One of these is yellow, And that means there is a 1-2 pair, and the other cell in that cage, which is in one of these two places, is an 8. That's weird, but that's true. So we get an 8 in one of those two cells. I don't know which one, as far as I can tell. One of these is yellow. Let's at least mark that. Which means that isn't yellow, because it sees them both. Ah, yellow is not in this cage either, because that would put an 8 in the cage. So yellow is in one of these two positions. And not with red in that cage. Okay. That's such a strange puzzle. Such a strange way of going about it. This may not be the normal way of trying to solve this, but it's quite interesting. Now, there is no red in this cage. But 1 or 2 must be in it because it's an 11 cage. So yellow must be in it. It's not in that cell. Yellow's in one of those two. That determines where yellow is in box 4. There it is. And then in box 1, I don't really have a clue. I mean, I guess one of my big clues is that every cage needs either yellow or red. So even this cage, that can't be red. So if it's got red, it's in one of those cells. And if it's got yellow, it's definitely there. It might have both. I'm not ruling that out. But I don't know, this is interesting progress in a way. And I say that as I begin to get a little bit stuck. Got to keep remembering the knight's move in this. Now, did these change as that was once that became known to be 1 or 2? No, I don't think so. 9s petered out eventually. 8s didn't really. Oh, hang on. 8s do lead to something. There can't be an 8 in this cage because it's not got both red and yellow in. So there's an 8. Because the 8 there rules 8 out of these cells, it must be in one of those 3. Then it has to be in one of these 2, and it can't be in the cage, so it's there. Now, from the very first thing I did, I get a total of these 2, which is because those equal 45. Take off 17, these equal 28, but the 3 cages they're in total 33, so those 2 add up to 5. That one is 1 or 2. Being yellow, and that is therefore 3 or 4 to make that total to 5. Then this cell, the trouble is this can be anywhere between 5 and 7. Oh, hang on, is there? Is there some sort of play, because these added up to 8. I'm not even sure. Oh, hang on. Red there, red there. Oh, I can place red in column 3. Sorry, I hadn't seen this. That red sees that by knight's move. So we've got a red there now. This cell can't have red, and it needs one of red or yellow. The only place yellow can go is there. This is so intriguing how these propagate around the grid. Now, red can't be in those cells. We know it can't be there. Red in this box can't be in any of those, or that by knight's move, or that by knight's move. So red's in one of those 2. Then it's in one of these 2. It can't be there clearly. Now, red not being in, red being in one of those 2 means it can't be in either of those. Don't know quite what to do with that. Red in this box can't be in either of those because it is in those. It can't be there because of the red we got on the left. So it's in one of these 4. Ooh, this box needs either red or yellow. The only place yellow can go is there, and the only place red can go is there. When I say either in this case, I mean either or, because it could definitely take both. It would be interesting if we could place an 8 in a cage other than here, because that would have to be with red and yellow, and that would really start sorting out our red-yellow colouring. Now, what I was going to think about, yes. Let's use the secret again. So, yes, I think I'll be able to work out the total of those two. I'm not sure about this, but 11 plus 19 plus 28. Right, that leaves these three adding up to 17. Oh no, I won't. That's annoying. Oh yeah, hang on. Those add up to 17. Plus 9 is 26. Those definitely added up to 5. That's 31. So these add up to 14. That can't be right, because it makes these add up to 8. Oh, no, I'm including this red. Okay, so I think I'm still unsure. Let's just think about the possibilities, actually. So if that is yellow, and that's 8. Oh, I don't know how this works. I think I may be missing something in box 4 at the moment, but let me just see if I can get anything else. No, I'm not really sure what I'm meant to be thinking about. Now, there's so many combinations with either a 1 or a 2 in there. I don't really want to think about them all. But I did note that these three couldn't be 1 or 2. Obviously, they're there in the box. And these two add up to either 9 or 10. Oh, but hang on. Oh, dummy. Where does this go? Oh, no, it could be 1 or 2, couldn't it? So, oh, no, it can't. We've got yellow there. Oh, I'm so slow. That's yellow. Oh, I got yellow there and I didn't cancel it here. So that's 3 or 4. Let's just wipe out the corner marking. That is 1 or 2. That is yellow. Right. Now we have got something going on, actually. Because the outside cells here added up to 8, the cells outside the box. We worked that out earlier. If you subtract red and yellow, then these, which add up to 3, then these two add up to 5, and the other cell we need in its box is a 6, and 8 is placed here, which was actually obvious from the fact that we had 1 and 2. Right, we've got a 6 in the grid that I wasn't expecting. I can't rule it out of that cell, I don't think. So 6 is in one of those 3 in box 5. Ah, and one of these 3. Oh, and where does this cell now go in box 4? It goes here because it sees all the others. Okay, I might give that a colour. Let's make it blue. And then blue will be in one of those 2 cells. That hasn't helped me colour yellow and red, I don't think. Apart from obviously putting yellow there. Oh, hang on. That puts yellow in one of these 3 cells in box 9. They all see that cell, which doesn't really get a lot done. This one adds up. Obviously, this cage adds up to 11. Doesn't have 2 or 9 in it. Oh, this is a 1-2 pair. Oh, that's interesting. So these remaining... Oh, where does 8 go in this column? It's absolutely straightforward. It goes there. So now this is either 4-7 or 5-6. This is 5 or 7. These two, I don't know what they add up to. I thought I did, but since red is unknown, they add up to either 9 or 10. So they're either a 4-5 or a 3-7 pair. So this is also either a 4-5 or a 3-7 pair. It's the other one. Oh, and whether it's 4-5 or 3-7, this is not 4-7 because they both use one of those digits. So that's a 5-6 pair. Now this is 7, and it must be a 3-7 pair, and this is a 5-4 pair. And now I've disambiguated reds and yellows as well. Reds are 2 because that has to add up to 11. Yellow is 1. This blue that I came up with is 3. This is a 7. That works. All of those cage totals are done, and box 4 is finished. That's a 4. Can't resolve that 5-6, even using the knight's move. Wow, that's really interesting. Look at this cell. This sees 1, 2, 7, 8, 9 in the column. 3, 5 by knight's move, so that's 4 or 6. And the other side of the one must be 4 or 6 as well. Yeah, this is working now. Come on. One of these is a 3. I knew that. This is 5, 6, 7, or 8. Well, it's not 8 because that would have to be a 1 in the cage. It's not 7 because we'd need another 2. So it's 5 or 6. So we've got a 7-8 pair in the column. This feels like 3 or 4. Yes. What's this then? Well, it's not 4 by knight's move, so I'm going to put in 3, 5, and 6. Actually, it's not 6, because one of those is a 6, and they both see it. So this has become a quadruple as useless as a chocolate teapot. That can't be 8 by the knight's move anymore. Probably couldn't when I wrote it. 8's in one of those two. No, let's just focus on the cages. Look, that cell sees 4 and 6 in a 1, 4, 6 cage. That is 1, which I might as well keep colouring. Doesn't get anything done particularly, but this is a 4, 6 pair. 2, 8, 6. Don't know about 8. Don't really know about 2. Oh, yellow is 1. We've learnt that. So this pair adds up to 10. Doesn't have a 5 in. Oh, it doesn't have a 3 in, I can see as well. That's a 4, 6 pair too. Might start colouring the 4, 6s in a moment, but I'm not going to yet. 8 in this row can't be there or there thanks to some knight's moves. So 8 is in a pair with 9 here. That is in fact naked. It sees a 5 there, so that's 7. That's 5. Now, this doesn't have 5, 4, 6, 7 or 9 in it, but it needs a big digit. The big digit must be bigger than 1, 2 and 3. The big digit must be 8. So that is 8, 2, 1. The 1 can't be there or there. It's here. That's yellow. They're not yellow. That's not a 2, 8 pair. I know exactly which way round they go because of this 8. And that gives me 2 to be red there, and indeed in the 11 cage. That is not red now. Oh, the others aren't resolved yet. That's surprising and weird. Never mind. How about the 1s? We get a 1 in one of those positions. We get 1 either there or there, but it can't be here because we'd need an 8 in the cage, which we can't have. So this is 1. This is yellow. That is the 1 in column 4. This is the 1 in box 3. And not only does that place all the 1s, it tells me where 9 is in box 3, and I think that's going to resolve all the 9s in the grid, which is kind. We get 9 there. Ah, it doesn't, because I'm left with a little 2 by 2 containing 2 9s. I can do this one. and that doesn't affect them at all. Right, now down here we've got a 3-7 pair to finish this box. That's a 4. I think we're in business now. 5 there, that's a 3-6 pair. That 4 has finally sorted out 6 and 4. That deals with the chocolate teapot quadruple, which is all finished. I'm not going to carry on with the blue colouring. In fact, let's get rid of the blue colouring. I'll finish off red and yellow when I can. 5 and 6 down here are done. 3 looks into that 6-3 pair, which doesn't look into the 3-7. Down here we have 3 and 8. Oh, I don't need a knight's move. I've got a Sudoku move. That's not 8 now. 8, 2, 3, 1, 6. These two can't be 6 or 4 because they see both of those cells. And they can't be 5 because of that one. So I think these two can't be 5, 2, 1, 4, 6, 8 or 3. They are a 7-9 pair. And I know which way round they go thanks to this 9. Which actually implies this was a naked single the whole time. But quite a difficult one to see, I would venture. That is 5 or 4. This is 5 or 6. We've got a 4, 5, 6 triple there. Oh, this 8-9 pair has been sorted out. We've done all the 9s in the grid. 4, 5, 6. This is 2, 7 and 8 at the top. That's not 2. That's not 7. This is 3, 4, 5. Oh, come on, knight's move. Doesn't help as far as I can see. That's not 4. That's not 5. That's not 3. 4, 5, 7. I thought the knight's move would be helping a bit more at this stage. Right, I'm sure I'm missing something here, something big. 8 is looking at that cell. That's not the big thing. 7 is looking at that cell. That's quite a big thing. No, it's not. I thought that was going to sort out this triple. Actually, it didn't. 2s. Don't really know. Oh, of course I do know, because this cage needs a low digit. It needs a 2 in it. And that 2 has to be here. Thank you, colouring, for coming to the rescue. Let's get rid of the colouring there. That is all the colouring I'm going to do. But I know these reds now are 2s, so that does sort out that triple I wanted resolved. This cage needs another 9 in it. That is 4 or 5. Oh, so this is 4 or 5 as well. I can't tell instantly which, but I think that's still going to be incredibly helpful. 8 in this box can only go there. 6 now is there. This is a 3-7 pair that I will resolve very shortly, I feel. 5, 3, 4, 5, 4. Top 2 rows done. We've done the 4, 6 there. Does that triple. 5, 7 pair. That is obviously the 7. That does 3, 7 at the bottom. 4 and 6 are done by the 4 above. 7 and 3 are done by the 7 in the corner. And we get a 6 and a 3 to finish. And that is the puzzle done without an error. So thank you, Chili. That's nice. And frankly, I'm pleased to do a puzzle in half an hour or so, because it's been a while. Now, I did say that I would talk a bit about phonetics. And what I'm going to talk about is what has been puzzling me in the last 2 gas videos. And there have been some very helpful responses on in the comments, so thank you to those who've responded. And what is this? That was right. So these are the vowels of English. Now, these are groups of words that demonstrate the 20 phonemes that are vowels in almost all accents of English. Now, whatever accent of English you speak, you will probably divide into these 20 different vowels. Your realization of them may be very different from mine or from other speakers of different accents of English. but you will probably divide up into these vowels. So you can pronounce the words as you do, but you will find that any vowel sound in English comes down to being one of these. It's slightly complicated on this fourth column by what's been called in this list R liaison vowels, which is not what I'd have called them. I mean, the issue is complicated by the fact that I have a non-rhotic accent, where if I pronounce near, square, start, north, pure, or nurse, I'm not sounding the R at all. Whereas if an American says them, well, I'm not going to get the vowels quite right, but they would say something like near, square, start, north, pure, and nurse, with an R sound involved. But the vowel is still what it is in between. Now, the problem I had was the vowel in Feliz Navidad, the A sound, the realization of the A letter in that. And I didn't understand how Philip Neumann was equating that with the sound in quadruple, and that the first vowel in quadruple, which would be in this family lot and would be this sound over here. The sound in Navidad, I thought, sounds like the A in trap. And everybody who has commented from the US says, no. It sounds like the R in start. And everybody has got experience of Spanish or listened, especially to Jose Feliciano's Feliz Navidad, and said it's clearly that R. But to me, Navidad sounds wrong. I pronounce it more like Navidad. And that is almost certainly because when we try and realize what is actually a Spanish word into English, it depends where our own accent puts sounds like A and R. So my accent has this A sound really quite far off to... No, actually not far off, sorry. My A sound, I think, this chart of where the vowels are pronounced, it varies accent by accent. So this is a sort of generic chart, and it's meant to, I think, represent the height of the tongue when pronouncing the vowel. So you can maybe feel it in your mouth that as you go from I, E, A, the tongue is getting lower, and as you go from oo, or R, the tongue is getting lower, for instance. And there's frontness and backness to consider as well. Anyway, my A is somewhere around here, and my R is right over in the corner, I think. Whereas, for an American, the R is somewhere farther, that sound. Things are complicated again by the fact that American is a rhotic accent, and so most of the vowels with the R sound have an R coming after it. So it's to isolate the vowel away from that R, you kind of have to find words like father which don't have an R written in them, so they're not pronounced. Anyway, so we're comparing sort of dad and father here. And I think for Americans, R is here, but for me, it's there. Now, if a Spaniard is saying Navidad somewhere in the middle, an American is hearing it as near their R, and a Briton is hearing it as near their A. And that's what's going on in terms of the phonetic interpretation into English phonemes of Spanish words. Now, the situation gets further complicated by the fact that R and O, to me, are quite distant from each other. They don't rhyme. If I said hard in my accent, it doesn't rhyme with God. It's not really close. Whereas apparently, and there is a lot of attestation to this, including from Clover, who has a linguistics qualification as well, those are close enough as makes no difference in an American accent. And I can sort of hear that if I try and say, in my version of an American accent, God. If I give thanks to God, that is a sound that is much lower than how I would give thanks to God. So I can see that for an American accent, or and are very close together, and that allows this pun to work, as in Feliz Naviquad or Feliz Naviquad. But it totally doesn't work for an English accent, which is so surprising. Anyway, so I apologise for the fact that I thought the pun didn't work. It clearly does if you're speaking standard American or an accent anywhere near that. Whereas I'm speaking received pronunciation, and it's possibly my interpretation of Spanish sounds. It would be interesting to hear from native Spanish speakers whether the A in padre sounds more to you like the A in English dad or the A in English father, which is quite an interesting comparison, because those words mean the same thing. So is that sound closer to dad? It doesn't really matter either way, because our accents are all different, so we will realise these things differently. And that's what led me to not understand how that pun could work in American. But there we go. What I'm going to add in now is my own little theory that I always meant to write a paper about in linguistics, never got around to. And this theory relates to pop songs. And I believe that pop songs, I'm using the term generically, I will explain it in a minute, that pop songs share a common accent that is neither American nor British and is somewhere in between. And what I specifically mean by that is I believe that the pop accent uses American vowels and British non-rhoticness, and even has some standard, I don't know what they're called now, they used to be called lexical incidental choices. We've probably got a better word for that now, but I will now explain. So anytime you listen to a pop song, I believe you cannot tell, not any time, most times when you listen to a pop song, I believe you cannot tell the original accent of the singer, because singers have subconsciously learnt the pop accent, which uses mostly American vowels, which does not use the R in these pronunciations of near, square, start, north, pure, and nurse. So that bit is coming from British or Australian or some other accent of English, whereas and there are rhotic accents in the British Isles as well, I should point that out. But the American vowel system is more in use. And this first came to my attention. I watched a 5-year-old girl, I think, on a British talent show singing a song, and you heard her interviewed first of all, and then, incredibly she came on stage and sang, and everybody was incredibly impressed by how good a singer she was. I was incredibly impressed as well by how she had mastered the pop accent and was able to realise all the American vowels in it. Now, what I have to say is that there are exceptions. There are whole genres that are exceptions as well these days. Country music pretty much uses full American pronunciation, including pronouncing R's, as far as I can hear. I guess all of rap and hip-hop, which originated as a spoken medium, is much closer to actually spoken language and is in accent. So there's the Proclaimers in Scotland who sing very deliberately in Scottish accents. So it certainly can be done, but the kind of the Billboard top 10, if you listen to those, if you exclude the hip-hop maybe, will largely be in this pop accent, which is common to both cultures across the Atlantic. Probably Australians and New Zealanders learn it quite soon too. And indeed any other accent of English that's singing Western pop songs. And they speak the same accent. Now, the lexical incidental choices I'm talking about, especially words like chance and dance. Now, in songs, those would normally get the American choice of vowels. So chance and dance could use, in my accent, they would normally use the start vowel. In an American accent, they would normally use the trap vowel and be chance and dance. And singers actually suddenly notice the accent issue when they get to those words, because they now have to make a choice of which vowel they realise them with. And a British singer like Ed Sheeran is actually capable of singing both dance and dance in the same song, because sometimes it feels more appropriate to do it more singy and sometimes more talky. And that's very weird. But those are quite rare. Again, there are a lot of exceptions which prove in the old sense of test this rule. But I found it intriguing to consider that largely every singer has understood entirely subconsciously the full pop accent and is able to render it in every song they try and do, whether they're whether they're doing a cover or singing a song for the first time. They will instantly translate it into realizations of these vowels in an American accent, and for Americans the R is dropped. You can contradict me if your findings are different, but I've always found that fascinating, and just thought I'd throw it out there because I promised to talk some phonetics at the end of this video. I have other linguistic theories as well. Maybe one day we'll get to them. But thank you very much for watching the Sudoku and the phonetics if you did that too. And I hope to see you soon on the channel if I haven't offended anybody. Bye for now.